Welcome to TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslage. An announcement was made at John Marshall High School recently that will have an impact on every student in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. TV20 reporter Dan Monroe has more.
The announcement was so surprising that it's best for you to hear it from Mr. George Weiss, founder of the Say Yes to Education nonprofit organization.
Okay, I'm here to tell you something, and it's a very, very exciting time for me and for the board to Say Yes. We stand with 117 private colleges that are going to offer every student in the public school system of Cleveland, Ohio, free college tuition.
When the announcement was made, I couldn't tell who was more excited, the students or CMSD CEO Eric Gordon.
I would say right now it's me, because I don't think that it has fully sunk into all of my kids what just happened. And what just happened is that this community promised every graduate of the CMSD who lives in the city and goes to our schools for the next 25 years a tuition scholarship to college. That's what just happened.
Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson was also excited for the new opportunities offered to the students.
And Say Yes for Education is the right thing at the right time for Cleveland Public Schools, and for you. But it is only possible because, again, we came together as a community who puts all of its efforts, its resources, talents into ensuring that you have this opportunity.
I wanted to learn more about Say Yes to Education, and to do that, I spoke with the organization's president, Gene Chasen.
So Say Yes to Education is a 32-year-old organization. 10 short years ago, we were working with only 1,000 students in 2 or 3 cities. We're now working, when you include Cleveland, with over 160,000 students in cities like Cleveland, Buffalo, Syracuse, Greensboro, North Carolina, all working toward the same goal, post-secondary success.
Chasen said this announcement was made possible thanks to a strong collaboration between the public and private sectors.
I think what you see in Cleveland is unique and special. You had city leaders, county leaders, school district leaders, but more importantly, the business sector, local philanthropy, the entire community coming together to say we're going to work together and work differently to not only ensure that the scholarships are there, but the young people have the support necessary to take advantage of those scholarships.
A big proponent of the Say Yes to Education college tuition initiative is KeyBank. Margot Copeland, CEO of the KeyBank Foundation, is also on the Say Yes to Education board.
KeyBank Foundation has a long history and tradition of being engaged in education, especially supporting the students of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. But this is unique because there are partners across the spectrum of this community, governmental partners, philanthropy, corporations, small foundations, individuals, all sorts of partners that we've come together as a team, if you will, to say, one, we believe in the children of Cleveland, we believe in their future, and we want to set them on a path that is best for them and one that they choose.
Eric Gordon said the time is now for families with kids from kindergarten through 12th grade to start talking about and making plans for their future.
That's right. So I can't tell you how many times I see families with their youngest children talking about what college they want to go to when they grow up, what they want to be when they grow up. My families don't do that with their kids because they're afraid they're not going to be able to deliver on that promise, and no parent wants to fail their kid. And so today, we've guaranteed that conversation can start. Today, we can guarantee that every single one of our kids who are in kindergarten today know that 13 years from now, when they're done, they're going to college. So start talking about where and start talking about what, just like every other person in our community.
For more information on Say Yes to Education, visit sayyescleveland.org. At John Marshall High School, for TV20, I'm Dan Monroe.
8 people have been arrested and charged in connection with a drug ring after a raid of 2 homes in the Glenville neighborhood. 10 guns, ammunition, and drugs, including cocaine, marijuana, and heroin, were all seized in the raid.
So this is a really good example of law enforcement working together with the community and also with members of other outside law enforcement agencies, and also with our division across the city. They've taken in a large number of weapons and a lot of drugs off of our streets. 8 people are arrested and charged. So this is super significant. It's also a great example that when you do call in crime tips, that your voice matters. We do have people out here who will follow up on those tips, and sometimes it leads to something this significant. So it's very important.
Each faces counts of first-degree felony drug trafficking. Remember, if you see something, say something. If it's an emergency, dial 911 or anonymously make a tip at 216-621-1234. 3rd District Commander Thomas McCartney has officially retired. A ceremony was held for him at Cleveland City Hall. Mayor Frank Jackson and Police Chief Calvin Williams both presented Commander McCartney with proclamations honoring his 30-year career.
I can go to a meeting and they'll be all over me about public safety. And they'll give me all of the problems that exist in their neighborhoods about public safety, but they'll say, but I got a great commander. Do not touch my commander, right? And that's because of the relationship that is built between the commander and the community. And it's a special touch that you have to have. So again, I want to congratulate you on your retirement. Thank you for your service and your willingness to serve, and tell you how much we appreciate the work that you've done for the Cleveland as a whole. But I do know that there are people out there who can tell stories about what you've done for them as individuals when you could make different decisions when you were a patrolman, a sergeant, and as you've gone up the rank. And but for you making those decisions in their favor, they would not have the opportunities they have now. So I want to thank you very much for what you've done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commander McCartney was touched by the celebration.
Thank you for the opportunity, Director and Mayor. Thank you, Chief. It's been a good ride, you know, some fun stories, good times. But as the Mayor says, you don't say it in a room full of cops because everybody says you're full of crap. But at the end of the day, you know and I know, you look back, whose life did I make a little better or day a little easier? And if you can't say that at nighttime when you close your eyes, you better re-examine what you're doing. Because really our job throughout life is to make somebody's life easier.
You can catch the ceremony in its entirety on Around Town, only here on TV20. The City of Cleveland's Black History Month opening ceremony was held in the City Hall Rotunda. This year's theme is Cleveland, building a sense of community.
Today we honor great builders in our community. As we look back on days when people said that we could not accomplish what these great people have accomplished here in the city of Cleveland, we pause to say thank you. Thank you to all of our forefathers who went before us, who worked their brow, their sweat, and their tears to pave the way for us that we can sit here today and lift them up and honor them for the work that they have done.
Council President Kevin Kelly gave remarks on how we can build as a community.
And we look at the richness that the success stories bring us, but going forward, how many success stories have we missed, and how many are we about to miss if we don't take the steps that we need to take to really bring a strong community? When we fail one child in the Cleveland Municipal School District, we need to think of this as we're failing the next great engineer, we're failing the next great lawyer, we're failing the next great, writer, whatever it is. We can't tolerate this, because with this theme being building a sense of community, we can't build a sense of community if we're only doing it with a small portion of the talent that is available to us.
Guest speaker for the event was Mark Joseph, who spoke about the African American community having resilience.
Black people are a resilient people. When you think about all that we've been through, all that we have surmounted, it's actually awe-inspiring. Black people should be renowned for our vigilance and our resilience. We should be revered the world over for our resilience. When you hear Black History Month, think Black Resilience Month. Because Black history can be in the past, and we cannot forget our past. Black resilience is today. And when we think of Black resilience, I want us to ask ourselves if we are doing everything we can each and every day to ensure that Black Clevelanders are able to contribute our resilient value to the vitality of this great city.
To see a full list of this month's City of Cleveland Black History Month events, visit their website at clecityhall.com. Well, some new residential living area is coming to the Hingetown neighborhood.
Welcome to the official ceremonial groundbreaking for Church and State, and we're really thrilled that this project is getting off the ground. It's been something that for many years we've looked at these two empty lots and thought about what is the possible. So the possible is going to be coming to fruition in the spring, early summer of 2020.
The development will be called Church and State, and there is a historic meaning behind the name, says developer Michael Panzica.
Historically, the West 29th Street was actually State Street, and to the south of us is still Church Avenue. So it is, in effect, we are at the intersection of Church and State, historically speaking. And it's obviously a playful nod at the separation of Church and State. So we're gonna have one building being the church building, another being the state building, and then the walkway being the separation way.
When completed in 2020, the Church and State apartment complex will include 2 buildings with 161 total residential units, a retail area, bike garage, and 9,000 square feet of public space. Ward 3 Councilman Kerry McCormick is excited for this development to come to his ward.
What we're really excited about here, this is a former gravel parking lot right on one of our key corridors in Detroit and Ohio City, where they used to actually have buildings here. So Graham and Marika and their development team are turning this gravel parking lot into an active mixed-use building that's going to have housing, that's going to have retail, commercial space, and things like that, really activating our corridors. We know that projects like this help with things like transit connectivity and rebuilding that population in Cleveland that we've lost over the years. So it's a really important project.
It was so cold the day of the groundbreaking that the traditional shovel in the ground wouldn't work, so they did something different to commemorate the event.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
For more information on the Church and State development, visit livechurchandstate.com. The Mayor's Office of Sustainability is starting a new year with a new theme. We sent reporter Dan Monroe to check out the brand new 2019 theme at the annual kickoff party.
Leah, I'm in the rotunda of Cleveland City Hall, where the Mayor's Office of Sustainability is holding a vendor fair as a way to kick off their newest initiative for 2019, known as the Year of People. The rotunda was filled with tables of vendors, each toting information about their services to the next person passing by. They were all there in support of the Office of Sustainability's kickoff to 2019 as the Year of People.
You know, it all comes back to our people's lives improving. Is their quality of life improving because of what we do to create a more sustainable city? So yeah, we work on green space. You know, we work on transportation, energy efficiency, making homes, healthier and warmer down the line. But at the end of the day, it's about people.
Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson said the Year of People is a culmination of 10 years of sustainability in Cleveland.
It was how do we transform our economy into a sustainable economy by the year 2019? What things could we do to move it in that direction? And also in doing that, what sustainable business practices, what sustainable energy sources, so that there were alternative energy sources to deal with the carbon footprint, the clean water, all those kind of things became part of it because we just believe that an economy that was built on being friendly to the environment could also be profitable and produce a better quality of life for people.
Many people at the vendor fair were already working to see the mayor's goal of a sustainable Cleveland come to fruition. Cynthia Cisagoy, Executive Director of Cleveland 2030 District, is one of them.
Cleveland 2030 District is a nonprofit, and our mission is to help commercial buildings reduce their energy consumption, water consumption, and CO2 emissions from commuter transportation by 50% by the year 2030. We're very proud to say that we have over 58 million square feet of commercial property that has taken a pledge to reduce those three metrics.
Sharon Glaspie of Garden Boys teaches young boys in the Cleveland area how to maintain and grow vegetables and other valuable skills.
About 10 years. We've been doing the program for about 10 years. And we have boys that live in the central neighborhood, and they're from 10 to 15 years old. And they grow and sell vegetables, and they're also beekeepers, so they all have their little bee hoods and their bee jackets, and they learn how to keep bees and learn how to sell honey and produce honey and sell honey.
As I was leaving the kickoff party, I ran into a group of amazing students from Metro Catholic School's Green Team who was there on a field trip. The group's goal is to take care of our planet.
We learn about how to keep the world cleaner, because if we don't clean the environment, everything could go extinct, including humans. So I would rather live than die.
All the vendors here at this fair have some interest in helping to make Cleveland an environmentally friendly city, a sustainable city. And I kind of think that's what the Year of People is all about. For you watching at home to come together to make your city, Cleveland, a thriving green city on a blue lake. At the rotunda of Cleveland City Hall for TV20, I'm Dan Monroe.
Thanks, Dan. And don't change that channel. We'll be right back with more TV20 News.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back to TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslage. The Foundry is the City of Cleveland's official rowing and sailing organization. They recently wrapped up millions of dollars in renovations. We sent reporter Dan Monroe to check out what's new at the Foundry.
Beautiful and amazing are just some of the ways people are describing the newly renovated Foundry Community Rowing and Sailing Center. The building sits with a stunning view of the city skyline on the Cuyahoga River just off Columbus Road in the Flats. Mike Treblecock, Executive Director of the Foundry, said their mission is simple.
Simple mission. It's the enablement of kids getting on the water, more specifically on the water rowing and sailing. Our 65,000 square foot facility is purpose built to train and create fitness for both these sports.
To help the kids get to the next level of rowing and sailing, the Foundry just completed millions of dollars in renovations and equipment upgrades.
So we got a saying around here, the right things, the right way. The equipment's expensive. From the fitness equipment to the erg equipment to our tank facility, which is over $1 million investment. The idea is to teach the kids the right way to row, the right way to sail, at the same time do it as safe as possible. So whether that's life jackets or whether that's making sure they understand the sports before they actually get on the water and are able to row, that's what our tank facility does.
Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson stopped by the Foundry to have a look at the new updates. The mayor was taken on a tour of the facility's new exercise equipment. After that, he inspected the Foundry's nearly 200 rowing and sailing boats. The majority of the Foundry sailboats are kept at the Sailing Center and the old Coast Guard lookout facility off Whiskey Island. The mayor ended his tour at the state-of-the-art rowing simulator. Here, students get hands-on rowing training without having to get on the water. The simulator is especially useful for rowers to train during those harsh Cleveland winter months. The Foundry also offers online and on-site classes for CMSD students called the School of One. At only 2 months old, the pilot program seems to be very popular among its students.
The School of One at the Foundry is an amazing experience in total. It teaches you about team building, and it also gives you a chance to learn, and it's more of a recreational environment. It's amazing if you ask me.
Head rowing coach Alyssa Chubelcock says that in teaching kids rowing, they learn other skills as well.
We are working a little bit on introducing their individual responsibility for moving forward and backward and just taking the basic stroke. And then that is the same thing that our athletes are doing here day to day, perfecting their stroke. And then the teamwork side of everything. So introducing, not only do you have to do this by yourself, but you have to do this amidst a whole group of other people also doing it. So just general awareness of your own body and other bodies moving together.
Anyone can row, says Chubelcock, and if you're interested in learning how to row or sail, the Foundry has plenty of programs for you.
We offer all sorts of programs over the summer. We have our Learn to Row and Learn to Sail program. You can do one or the other. You can do both. And we have programs for athletes who already know how to row or who know how to sail, or athletes who are just trying to get started. So those are happening 7 weeks throughout the summer. Registration is open now. Anybody can come down, and we'd be happy to take people through the facility, give them a tour, show them what it's all about.
If you've ever wanted to take up rowing or sailing, now's your chance. Visit the Foundry's website at clevelandfoundry.org for more information. For TV20, I'm Dan Monroe.
Students from Wilson Elementary School had the honor of meeting Mayor Frank Jackson in his office. If you don't know about Wilson Elementary, phys ed teacher John Dohortix says it's a very interesting school.
So at Wilson, we have a unique vision and mission. We do have deaf and hard of hearing students along with our neighborhood kids. We're interesting because we're trying to change how we service our whole community. We're not only a public education institution, we want to become more of a community-based organization. So we do things like our community gardens. We have a fitness center open to the community. Every Friday night we do a Friday Night Lights from 5 to 7 where our building is open for community use.
After the students posed for photos with Mayor Jackson in his chair, the students told the mayor about the new gardens they planted around the school.
I felt happy to meet the mayor in person. How to plan, how we planned the garden, and we talked about watering the plants, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm.
We actually have the first Ward 7 memorial garden behind our building. That's one of the gardens we put in, and the neighborhood can memorialize family members that have died through violent means. We have a vegetable garden for the families and our students to plant healthy vegetables in that they can take home and eat. In the front of our building, we actually have 3 separate gardens. We have a dry gulch garden that we have contemplation areas in and a lot of flowers. In the front of the building, we actually have a literacy garden with a small library in front.
Mayor Jackson sat down with the kids in his dining room, and the students had a chance to ask the mayor questions. Topics included questions about the president, the government shutdown, how the city works, and what the mayor's day is like. Mayor Jackson answered every one.
Today, meeting the mayor was awesome because I never met him before, and it was just cool because we got to learn new things about him.
Talk about your experience meeting with Mayor Jackson today.
I was happy.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah.
Like what did you learn?
How people help the city.
Everyone had a great time in coming to City Hall to meet Mayor Jackson. For most, this was their first time. If you want to know what the best part of Wilson School is, just ask the students.
Wilson School is the best part is learning something new.
For more information on Wilson Elementary School, search for AT Wilson School on Facebook. Spelling of Wilson is with 2 L's. Mayor Frank Jackson met with 2 students from Wade Park Elementary School. The students were finalists in the Amazing Shake contest. Wade Park Principal Lee Buddy Jr. explains what the contest is.
So the Amazing Shake revolves around, poise, confidence, having manners, being able to respond to different scenarios. The Amazing Shake competition was taken from the Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta, Georgia. So this is our 2nd year that Wade Park is doing it.
Wade Park's 2 finalists, 8th graders Avriel Studevant and Madison Reed, spoke with Mayor Jackson about the competition and what they had to accomplish to become a finalist.
Well, I needed to think quick on my feet and also give a proper handshake, and I believe that I excelled in those areas, both of those areas that led me here to City Hall.
What was it like to meet the mayor?
It was an amazing experience, meeting the person who basically governs the city of Cleveland.
After the young ladies spoke with the mayor, it was Principal Buddy's job to pick the winner, and that honor went to Avriel Studevant, who said she was excited to be chosen.
I was kind of happy, but at the same time, I just felt like neutral because Madison didn't win, so I didn't want to be a not fair sport because either way, it still would have been okay with me.
Truly excited. Our 2 young ladies, Avriel and Madison, did a fantastic job representing themselves, their family, and their school today when they met the mayor and just answered questions. And they got to ask the mayor several questions too, so I know that was exciting for them.
It's still that time of year where it's pretty gloomy here in Cleveland, but not at the Cleveland Botanical Gardens, where exotic flowers are in bloom for the annual Orchid Mania show.
You come through the archway that's made of white and pink phalaenopsis, or pink shades of phalaenopsis, and then you are hit right in the face with a display that encompasses about 700 different colors and flower shapes of phalaenopsis that we have on display, with benches so you can sit down and get some good photo ops. There's actually orchids that are through the glass into Madagascar from inside the ellipse, and then you enter down through our hallway into Epic here, and you start seeing more of our interpretation we have in the show. And then you work your way into our Clark Hall, which is more of a gallery type setup with 16 different pedestals of varying heights with the orchid varieties we have that are really gives the photographers an up close chance to get very up close and personal to the orchids. And you should just bring your macro lens when you come in here, because you can get within inches of these flowers.
This year, the Botanical Gardens is doing more than just showcasing these colorful and fragrant plants.
We've gone with more of an educational component this year, and also a lot of variety. We have over 100 different varieties and cultivars of orchids in the show this year. And as the show progresses over these next 6 weeks, we're going to have about 3,000 orchids come through the door. We actually are handing out magnifying glass, so you can get really, again, get a good close-up view of the plants as you're going through Costa Rica and Madagascar. We're encouraging you to touch the petals, and actually we have signs that are encouraging people to smell certain orchids. Some you might want to not smell, but some you might enjoy smelling, so I'll let you be the judge. If you are really like women's wear, you should come down and take a look at what Kent State School Design our School of Fashion Design has put together for us down in our Japanese overlook. They're displayed nicely throughout the hallway, and you can get a really good up-close personal look to what the designs are and what these wonderful students have put together for the show.
In case you were wondering, yes, you can purchase an orchid for your home.
So we have orchids for sale also in our store throughout the whole show, and at the end of the show we have a large sale for the orchids that are able to be sold after we dismantle the whole show. The only orchids we can't sell, because we're under USDA
rules and regulations.
Rules and regulations. And we can't sell anything that comes out of Costa Rica specifically. So anything that's in there actually gets taken away and cleaned by the Orchid Society, and they will actually sell the orchids at their shows and then make a donation back to the garden.
Not sure how to care for your orchid? Well, the doctor is in.
So the Orchid Doctor is an event that we do on Wednesday evenings, and Mark Burr, who manages our glass house, and a number of other experts will come in and you'll be able to come in and ask your orchid questions, and we'll be able to find out what's going wrong, why am I having a problem growing this plant. Everybody seems to be very apprehensive when it comes to orchids, and they treat them very delicately, but you should really not be afraid to repot your orchids and be able to really handle them. I mean, it's a plant, you shouldn't just treat it with kid gloves. You can admire it, but you should be able to get up there and take it apart and put it back into a new pot when it's necessary.
For more information, including admission and hours, visit cbgarden.org. It really is just so beautiful there. Make sure you check out the show, which again goes until March 10th. That's all for your TV20 news. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Hasselage. Up next, we'll have Christian Patterson with the Inside Sports Report.